Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this lecture series, we will study about errors and weights. So this is an important topic from GATE point of view, and a numerical can be framed from this topic. So before starting with the numericals, we must know the theory of this topic. So in this topic, you will be given, like, they will give you few measurements like X, Y, Z, A, B, C. These are the measurements. Suppose you measured angles in a traverse, and these are the angles of the traverse. Now, by giving these angles, the examiner will ask you the standard error of mean. He can ask you that what is the standard error of mean. He can also ask you the standard error of certain observations. Suppose he asks you that what is the standard error that is involved with X. He can also ask you about the most probable error. Most probable error of mean or of a single observation. He can also give you that these angles have this much importance. Then how is the importance of any dimension indicated? It is indicated with the help of weights. Suppose this observation has a weight of 1, this observation has a weight of 2, this observation has a weight of 1, this observation has a weight of 4, this has weight of 2, this has weight of 5. That means the observation C has the most importance among all these observations, since the weight of this angle or this observation is maximum, and Z and X has the least weight and it has the least importance. So after giving the weights, he can ask you, now since every observation has different weight, these observation will be treated differently. Now they are not equal types of observations since they are related with their weights. Now they will ask you that what is the weighted mean. So you will have to calculate in a different manner. You will not calculate the mean simply by taking X plus Y plus Z plus A plus B plus C divided by 6. You will not calculate in this fashion. You will have to correlate the mean with the help of these weights. Since the weights are given earlier, when the weights were not given, you assume the weight to be 1 for everyone. So you calculate the mean in a fashion in which you calculate in mathematics. But since the weight is given, you will calculate it in a different manner. So this is what we are going to learn in this unit. The errors, first of all, we will consider that weights are not given. Secondly, we will consider that weights are given. So let us begin with the chapter. Suppose you are given few observations. Let us consider you are given A, B, C, D, and up to Z you are given with the observations. Let us consider this. So very first thing and the very basic thing that the examiner might ask you about the standard deviation of all the observations. What is the standard deviation of all the observations? So you all very well know that how to calculate the standard deviation. For standard deviation, you will have to take the sigma xi minus xm square divided by n minus 1 under root. Now what you will have to do, first of all, you will have to calculate the mean of all the observations, A plus B plus up to Z divided by 26. So this is how you calculated xm. This is the mean. Now for every, you have to consider every observation now, like A minus xm square plus B minus xm square plus dot 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 plus Z minus xm square, and you have to divide it by 20. The mean will be divided by 26, but this will be divided by 25, and you have to take the under root of this complete value. This will give you the standard deviation of all the observations. Now the examiner can ask you that you have to calculate the variance of all the observations. So what is variance? You all very well know variance is the square of standard deviation. So you just have to remove this under root, or either you can square this standard deviation. It will give you the variance. So this is how you can calculate the variance. Now comes a new term that is called as standard error of mean. How do you calculate the standard error of mean? So to calculate standard error of mean, what you have to do, you just have to divide the standard deviation by under root of n. What is under root of n? N means the total number of observations. You just, whenever the thing comes about mean, then you have to take this You just have to take the under root of the number of observations and you have to divide it by sigma. कभी भी अगर नॉर्मल बात हो रही हो सारी ऑब्जर्वेशंस की, यू कैलकुलेट स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन, और जो भी आपको कैलकुलेट करना है आप करो. जब उसमें मीन लगा दिया जाए देन यू जस्ट हैव टू डिवाइड इट बाय अंडर रूट ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ ऑब्जर्वेशंस. सो दिस इज द स्टैंडर्ड एरर ऑफ मीन. नाउ सपोज if someone asks you about the standard error of a single observation, then it is nothing but it is equal to sigma. This is the standard error of single observation. The standard error of any observation will be equal to sigma. Suppose I ask you that what is the standard error of B, then you have to say that the standard error of B is equal to sigma. Now if I ask you what is the standard error of mean of A to Z, then you will report it as sigma divided by root n. Now if I ask you that what is the most probable error, then there is a formula. For most probable error you have to do, see, the error can be negative as well as positive, so you will take plus minus, then 0.6745 times sigma. This is the most probable error, and you know how to calculate sigma, that is standard deviation. I have already told you how to calculate standard deviation. Now comes the most probable error of mean. So I have already told you, whenever the mean comes of mean, you just have to divide this by under root n, plus minus 0.6745 sigma divided by root n. So this is how you calculate the most probable error of mean. Now if I ask you that what is the maximum error, if I ask you about the maximum error, then maximum error for observation, it is not asking about the maximum error of mean, it is asking about the maximum error, then it will be plus minus 3.29 times sigma. Now if I ask you the maximum error of mean, then I already told you, you just have to divide it by under root of number of observations. So this is how you calculate the maximum error of mean. Now shifting to propagation of errors. Propagation of error means, if you are, suppose there is a quantity x and there is a quantity y. Suppose this quantity has some error. Say you measured this quantity with an error of 0.06 and you measured y with an error of 0.20. There is a large error in y and there is less error in y. Suppose if I add these quantities, then what will be the error in this quantity x plus y? Suppose it is a, it is equal to a. Then if I ask you that what is the error associated with a, then there will be a trick to solve this thing. Similarly, if I ask you that what is the error associated with B, you will calculate in this fashion. Similarly, if I ask you what is the error associated with C, you will have to calculate in a different manner. Suppose if there are three quantities x, y and z, and the error associated with z is say 0.004. Now if I ask you what is the error associated with x times y times z, so first you will have to calculate the error associated with this, and then suppose this is a, then you have to calculate the error associated with a times z. So this is how you break it into pieces. So अब पूरा समझने के लिए, इस तरह के क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करने के लिए, you must know that how to calculate the basic पता होना चाहिए. When basic आ जाएगा तो फिर आप you can easily go for higher standard levels. So let us start with this. This is called as propagation of errors. Now see, suppose let us go for addition first, since addition is the most basic operation. Suppose there is one quantity x and another quantity is y, and I am adding x and y. Suppose the probable error or the standard error related with x is ex and the error related with y is ey. Now if I ask you what is the error, what is the probable error that is related with x plus y, then how will you calculate that? Suppose I represent it as es, then you will calculate it by ex square plus ey square under root. So this is how you calculate the probable error in this x plus y. Suppose if I ask you what is error ratio, there is a term called as error ratio. Then for error ratio, you just have to divide this most probable error in this addition by x plus y. Understood? Second thing is subtraction. there is no difference in addition and subtraction in these terms. If I go for x minus y, or if I also go for y minus x, the procedure will be same. So now if I ask you that what is the probable error associated with this, then you don't have to change any sign here, you just have to do this. It is similar to that. Now the change will be in error ratio. The error ratio will be ES divided by x minus y. Now if it would have been y minus x, then you would have changed the error ratio as y minus x. Now if I go for multiplication, that means x times y, then what will be the probable error associated with x times y? So it will be equal to ES, let us denote it with ES. Again it will be plus minus. I forgot to mention this plus minus in addition and subtraction. So it can be positive, it can be negative as well. So it will be calculated by y times EX square plus x times EY square and the under root of this. So this is how you calculate the probable error in case of multiplication. Again the error ratio will be equal to ES divided by x times y. So it is simple. Let us denote as ER. This is error ratio. Now comes division. This is also important. If I divide x by y or y by x, as the case may be, now what will be the probable error associated with this? So you have to remember this: EX by x square plus EY by y square, and you just have to take the under root of this and multiply it with x by y. If it would have been y by x, then you will have to change this only. It will remain the same. You have to change x by y. Now again the error ratio will be ES divided by x by y. So this is how you calculate the probable error in case of multiplication and division. Now there are two special cases where these basic arithmetic operations are not performed. This is power case. Suppose if I go for x to the power n, now what will be the error that will be associated because of this? See, n is a constant and x can be a variable. There is an error associated with x. Let us say that error is EX. Now what will be the error that will be associated with x to the power n? Then it will be equal to n x to the power n minus 1. You will have to differentiate it. Similarly, अगर आपके पास कोई और फंक्शन आता है, लॉगरिथमिक फंक्शन आता है, तो you just have to differentiate it. It will be 1 by x. Similarly, इसको आपने differentiate किया n times x to the power n minus 1 and you have to multiply it with e to the ex. This is the error associated with x. This is the case of power. Similarly, now there is a case, special case, product of a constant. Suppose if you multiply a constant in x, there was a quantity x and now you multiply a constant k in x, then what will be the error that will be associated? So it will be equal to k times of ex. ex is the error associated with x. ये x के साथ का error है, तो आपको कुछ नहीं करना, इस कांस्टेंट में आपको ex को मल्टीप्लाई कर देना है, देन यू विल ऑब्टेन द एरर एसोसिएटेड विद kx. सो अब आपके पास किसी भी टाइप का क्वेश्चन आ जाए, सपोज अ क्वेश्चन कम्स kx टू द पावर n, देन आपने x टू द पावर n का केस पढ़ा है, पहले इसको सॉल्व करिए, एरर निकालिए, फिर उस एरर के साथ आप k को क्वांटिटी को मल्टीप्लाई कर दीजिए. सो यू कैन इजिली सपोज a case comes a times b times c divided by d. So you just have to go for a multiply b, then you have to go for c multiply the product of a and b, and then you have to divide it by d. So this is how you go for such type of lengthy questions. But such questions will not be asked. अगर आएगा तो बहुत basic question आने वाला है. Now we are moving to law of weights. अब हम weighted observations की बात करेंगे. तो किस तरीके से वेटेड ऑब्जर्वेशन से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन फ्रेम होगा वो देखते हैं हम. तो सपोज कीजिए वी हैव फ्यू एंगल्स, सपोज दीज आर एंगल्स ए बी एंड सी एंड दीज एंगल्स हैव वेट्स. आई ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू व्हाट इज वेट. वेट इज डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ दीज एंगल्स और दीज क्वांटिटीज. नाउ इफ आई आस्क यू दैट व्हाट इज द मीन ऑफ these observations, if the weight would have not been given, you would have calculated the mean as a plus b plus c divided by 3. Now since these quantities are not similar quantities, they have some recognizable weight. So you have to calculate the mean as, it will be called as weighted mean. The weighted mean will be equal to a times a, b times b and c times c divided by a plus b plus c. So this is the weighted mean. And what will be the total weight of the mean? This mean will be a quantity. Suppose अगर ये 10 डिग्री होता, ये 20 डिग्री होता, ये 30 डिग्री होता, तो आपका weighted mean सपोज कीजिए 27 डिग्री आता, तो इसका भी तो कुछ वेट होना चाहिए. लाइक 10 का वेट था a, 20 का वेट था b, 30 का वेट था c. इसका भी कुछ वेट होना चाहिए. सो व्हाट विल बी द वेट ऑफ दिस मीन? The weight of this mean will be equal to the total weight of all the quantities. So this will be the weight of this mean. Now another type of question that can arise is, suppose I have two quantities a and b. The weight of a is W1 and the weight of b is W2. Now if I add a and b, then what will be the weight of this quantity a plus b? The weight will be the reciprocal of, what you have to do, you have to first take the reciprocal of these individual weights and you have to add them, and then you have to take the reciprocal of these reciprocal weights. So this will be the weight of this addition. Now similarly it can ask you that what will be the weight of a minus b. So the weight of a minus b will also be this. The weight will be equal to this only. So addition ho ya subtraction ho, the weight does not change. Now if I ask you, now there can be a case in which a quantity is multiplied by a constant. Suppose you have a quantity as a and it has a weight of W1. Now suppose if I multiply a constant with this quantity a, now what will be the weight of this quantity, new quantity k times a? Then in such cases what do? You divide the weight of this quantity by k square. Now the weight will decrease. Since you have multiplied, the error will be more propagated. So the weight of this quantity will reduce. Similarly, if you divide this quantity a by a constant k, then what will be the weight of this quantity, this new quantity? The weight of this quantity will be W1 times k square. So this is the individual weight. This is the weight of this and this is the weight of this. Since you have divided it with a constant, the weight will increase, the error will reduce. Now there can be a case in which you add a constant or you subtract a constant in this a. Then what will be the weight? Then in such cases the weight will not be affected. The weight of this quantity a plus k or a minus k will remain as W1. अगर मैं बोलूं कि एक एंगल मैंने मेजर किया है and it is 20 degree. Suppose the weight of this angle is 5. Now suppose if I say that I add 1 degree to this, then what will be the weight of 21 degree? Then the weight will remain the same since I have only added it. अगर मैं इससे कुछ डिवाइड करता, कुछ मल्टीप्लाई करता, then there would be the propagation of error. But addition and subtraction does not lead to any propagation of error. Now last but not the least subtopic in this is how to calculate the standard deviation and variance of such cases in which along with the quantities their weights are given. Suppose x1 and x2 are given and their weight is W1 and W2. Now if I ask you the standard deviation, now since the weights are given, you cannot calculate the standard deviation in the manner you used to calculate earlier. Now in this case what you will have to do, you will represent standard deviation with sigma w and it will be equal to plus minus sigma wn times xn minus xm square divided by n minus 1. So this is how you calculate. That means first of all you will have to calculate the mean. The mean will be xm and it will be equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. This will be the mean. Sorry, you have to calculate the weighted mean here. So it will be x1 w1 plus x2 w2 divided by w1 plus w2. This will be the weighted mean. Now what you have to do for calculating sigma w, you have to first of all take this x1, you have to subtract it from xm, you have to do the square and you have to multiply it with w1. Now you have to add W2 times x2 minus xn square, and you have to divide it by n minus 1. So this is the format in which you will calculate sigma if weights are also given. Now if I ask you the variance, you just have to remove this under root and this will give you the variance of these observations. Similarly, suppose I am representing it with sigma w. Now if I ask you that what is the standard error of a weighted observation, suppose I ask you that what is the standard error that is associated with x1, then the standard error will be sigma w divided by under root of w1. This will be the standard error of this. If I ask you what is the standard error of x2, then it will be sigma w divided by under root of w2. Now if I ask you what is the standard error of mean, then the standard error of mean will be equal to sigma w divided by total weight ka under root. In this case, you have to take the weight of the mean. And what is the weight of the mean? The weight of mean is equal to the sum of all the weights, and you have to divide it by sigma w. So this is how you calculate. If I ask you what is the most probable error, then what you have to do? 0.6745 times sigma w. This is the probable error. Maximum error, similarly maximum error can be calculated. So this is how you calculate maximum error and probable error. So such type of questions will be asked, many values will be given, weights will be given, they can ask you standard deviation, they can ask you standard error, anything can be asked. We will be solving few numericals related to this in the further videos. Thank you.